to another episode of the Self-Development Tactics podcast. It's been actually some time since I've recorded the last regular podcast episode. Not trying to be as efficient as I possibly can be, and do some uni stuff or design stuff or whatever while recording, and also noticing that reading definitely does help with English. And it is always quite a really great time to sit here, go through things that I indeed care about, things that I'm interested in, and using a bit of time to learn something new, I'd say. So we're going to go through something from Seth Godin again, so from Seth's blog. Since it's been some time, I do assume that there are quite some articles that are of interest to us, and therefore we are gonna go through them. There is something that I should take care of in the background though, because I don't think it's a good idea to have this running in the meantime. Let's see what. That's been taking up some CPU percentage. It actually being on 100%, that is crazy. Anyway, making change happen. One way to do it is to get people to want what you want. The other way is to help them get what they want in a way that gets you what you want. They are not the same. Changing what someone wants is very different from helping them see the story and the path that gets them what they've wanted all along. Yeah, I think it is a really difficult thing though, because sometimes people do not really know what they need and what they would like to have. In terms of, well, I don't know, sometimes I see certain things in someone that they do not see. So I notice, okay, it is not really about their relationship, but it is about their hobbies, for example. Bad example, but an example. So I think professionals really do often see things that the regular Joe doesn't see, and period. But it still makes sense to go the way of trying to give those people what they would like to have, because there are so many products, there are so many things, but I really seldomly think whenever I'm getting an ad or something, okay, this is something cool, and I'd like to have that. I'd like to see more of that. I'd like to get more from that. So really, really seldomly, and it makes sense to give certain ads to certain people where I know that they really want to have them. At this point, even though I'd say for me, and I'm talking mainly about social media there, I'm just, getting some random shit. I don't know if my data is just all over the place or something, but I don't know. I think that there should be the capabilities and the possibilities to really have a small target audience, and therefore then making sure that I'm only giving my ads or sending my ads to someone that really needs wants to see them, or the possibility of them wanting to see them is quite high. Of course, you can never be 100% sure. Opening the pod bay door. A brand new episode of Akimbo this week, all about artificial intelligence, but one of 2 on mediocrity and the choices we're going to need to make. And while in the making, an experimental AI chatbot that has been trained on all 5 million words of this blog. You can find it here. Yes, you can trick it, but you can also ask it questions about anything I've blogged, and it may do a good job of answering. Dave Wine and I pursued the idea in parallel, and I expect that he'll have one soon, and then they'll be everywhere. I actually also thought about that. I thought about using the podcast and all of the recordings that I've had over the past, I think, 4 years or something, and mainly my voice. There should be quite every single word there is spoken by my voice, pronounced by my voice, whatever, you know what I mean. So I don't know, maybe this works, maybe somebody knows something about it or can use it. I guess everyone is free to do so, I would assume, unless it is some bullshit. But I would indeed like to check out this bot, chatthing.ai. This is an experimental chat GPT bot that has been given additional training in all 5 million words of Seth's blog. It is not Seth, it is a bot, and you'll have no trouble tricking it, but you'll also be able to discover insights and ideas that you might have missed over that last 20 years. Give it a try and see how it goes. What is your perspective on the role of storytelling in marketing is an example question. Powered by ChatThing. I would like to know what ChatThing is. Create AI chatbots powered by your data that you can use anywhere. Pricing. Okay, cool. What could I plug in there though? Discord home. This should be the home. Demo bots, Airbnb bot, Harry Potter bot, HR bot, knowledge base bot, a bot trained on Cron's Help Center knowledge base. Connect your data from everywhere, anywhere. Websites add a list of URLs and ChatThing will scrape the content of the site and make it available to the bot. More coming soon. Google Docs, GitHub, YouTube, and many more data sources will be added soon. So I assume, I don't know, I think that I'm definitely not gonna spend that much money on it. Oh, there's actually, we offer a free tier that should allow you to test out ChatThing for personal use and small projects. No credit card required. You can try out ChatThing with one chatbot, one data source, 100,000 storage tokens, and 80,000 message tokens. Might actually be interesting to see what I can do there. I don't know though if I have like all the, some useful data there. Anyway, let's see actually what we could ask Seth. Seth, what could we ask Seth? Let's see. What could we ask Seth? Let's see. Well, we're getting there. You could ask Seth Godin about marketing, leadership, entrepreneurship, and personal development. He is a renowned author, blogger, and speaker on these topics. What would you say is key in self-development? Let's see. According to Seth Godin, the key to self-development is self-coaching. In his blog post titled 90% of coaching is self-coaching, he argues that it is entirely possible to coach ourselves by developing internal habits and standards that help you forward drip by drip. He also emphasizes the importance of finding the external forces that will soon become internal ones. So the key to self-development is to take responsibility for your own growth, set high standards for yourself, and find external support and resources to help you achieve your goals. That is a good one. What are some useful internal forces that I can leverage? Let's have a look. According to Seth Godin, the key to self-development is, it's the same thing again, like just really the same thing. Well, anyway. Rethinking the sports industrial complex. School sports can have some valuable outputs. Learning teamwork, a lifetime habit of fitness, giving non-academically focused kids a chance to shine. Yeah. Offering leadership opportunities and valuing persistence, innovation, and responsibility. And yet, when schools act as if all they have is a trophy shortage, They bench kids who might not yet have the physical attributes necessary to win, or they build huge stadiums to go on long road trips, berate students that make an error, or simply act as if their only point is to win, which is not the case. Fancy uniforms, the magnification of small differences, and a cutthroat focus on the outcome is not something that leads to the benefits that most of us would root for. Why not have a small league and swap kids around until the teams are evenly matched? Give every single player the same amount of game time, reward kids for personal growth, not for being better than someone else who simply started with a bit less than they did. What would happen if their coaches were rewarded for what was actually valued by parents and not for recreating what people see on TV? Perhaps we could begin by asking what school sports are even for. What school sports are even for. Are they there to entertain the fans? I would argue the same goes for the local jazz band and the middle school theater production as well. For me, it is not too relatable, since Europe and something, you know. So I don't know what it is like in the States, but I really am thankful for the physical education that I have had in school. Both schools that I have attended, indeed, it was really nice. And I mean, of course, for some people it surely wasn't that nice. I am pretty fortunate to be quite gifted when it comes to physical abilities, I guess. You know, not necessarily being strong and also not necessarily being overly well coordinated. You know, with my limbs and shit. But I don't know. Like, I really like it. I really do like sports, especially when it has something to do with the ball. Unless it is volleyball, I don't really like that. But handball, basketball, soccer or football, or American football or soccer or whatever you want to call it, like both. It's really amazing. I really like it. And well, of course, you know, if you're not into it and you always have to play those few sports, then you're probably not really gonna like it. Some people really like to swim. It's just, you know, been I think we've done it for 1 semester, maybe 1 year, you know, just swimming. I did not like it too much, to be honest, because it was in the winter, and I thought that it is quite dumb, or it was quite dumb. You know, back in the days, I've really had some issues with sore throats. I've had sore throats just, you know, so many fucking times. It was quite insane. And yeah, it was not really that nice of a thing to then, you know, go swimming in the winter. I mean, of course, it was not outdoors, it was indoors, but still, afterwards, you know, having wet hair, going outside and shit like that anyway. Avoid unnecessary amplifiers. This is extremely unique versus this is unique. I am very upset versus I am upset. And I love you a ton versus I love you. Sometimes more words aren't better. Yes. There is some beauty to simplicity, but I think when it comes to a minimalist approach, one really needs to make sure that what is being displaced, what is being said, what is being done, what is being achieved is really quite good or has something to say. I love you is a really strong phrase, so it is fine to not add anything. I'm upset, I think, is also quite strong. It is really emotional. This is unique. I don't really know. This is magnificent is something else, I guess. I mean, it's not the same word, but it is, I think, a bit stronger. On the other hand, I think some book that I've read on writing and have also read on a podcast, or just have read on a podcast, I think was really about not using some sentences nobody really wants to read. You know, some endless sentences with a lot of commas, I guess. It really wasn't nice to read, or it is not nice to read, and it is also not suggestible. But yeah, I mean, some people, I think that there are for sure some writers that did really like this complicated way of putting things. And, you know, maybe this has been the time or the era or the whatever. But yeah, you know, for some people this is amazing, and for some people this isn't. The Hegalochos lesson or something, I don't know. For more than 2,000 years ago, an actor in Greece botched a line in a play. In an inflection error, he said Wiesel when he meant to say calm sea. Okay. As a result, he was mocked by Senioran and then Aristophanes and others. He never worked again. The lesson might be that one innocent slip and you're doomed. The real lesson might be that in the history of his profession, one in which millions of people have stood up and said billions of words, this is the only time this ever happened. Also quite interesting. Flashing on contempt, delivering good taste. There are a lot of books on creating, cooking, photography, writing, and music, but they can't possibly help you to do better until you see and taste and appreciate what you're trying to create. If you think what you're serving is good but others don't, more recipes aren't going to help. That is why so much type is poorly set, so many self-published books look the way they do, so many restaurants are merely good, and so much long-tail music is easily skipped and forgettable. There are 2 steps to begin. Show us an example of someone else's work that you believe is good. A book cover that feels professional, a jazz riff that inspires a pasta dish that's unforgettable. Then make a version of it, not a copy, but something that rhymes. If you can't do it, that is probably no matter of technique. It is about being in sync with what other people aspire to engage with. Yes, I think this is indeed the case. Even though, I mean, not too many people really care about whether type has been set correctly. I do care about it as a graphic designer. I really, I mean, I think in the first place there should be readability. If it is not readable, unless it is intended not to be read, then, I mean, it can look good, yes, of course, but it has a function, and if it does not meet this function, or if I just can't fucking read it, it is worth quite nothing. Anyway, a lot of people really don't care about that, but I mean, maybe we do. I don't know, it's been in my head for quite some time, I guess. You know, whether things really have to be nice, you know, whether having a good logo is really that important, having a good website is really that important. It is really subjective in the first place. And but of course, I mean it might just be about usability and readability. Yeah, a lot of things just also feel right. Seeing a Van Gogh painting or the Mona Lisa, I think they just feel right. They just feel quite good. And yeah, period. I think with that being said, I'm gonna end the episode here. I wish you the best and